Myself is Sunil Singh. I'll be taking your Linux administration course, which will be about like 30 to 35 days. So already in this session, our few people are already joined the session. Already they made the payment. So this is actually an add-on batch. So already 3 people have joined our batch. So we want to have a few more people so that it will be feasible to have a batch. So once again, that's why we added today a add-on batch. So all these topics, the introduction part and few topics already completed for few of us. Uh, but again, I'll repeat it so that it will be revision for the people who already attended last time, few days back, and the people who are attending today. For them, it will be the just idea about what are the things which we are going to discuss through this course. So as you know, this course is about the Linux operating system. So let me first start with. Okay, so if you attend, it will be nice. Yes, I think you have made the payment. Yes, Pratik Reddy. Yes, I remembered you have made, but you did not was joining. Uh, our friend Manoj. Yes, our friend Manoj and this Feroz also made the payment, but they were regular. You were not regular, so it's better, good opportunity, especially for you. So please be regular. So I and rest of the our new friends, please remember that. This course. Okay, okay. Sorry, I was not aware that you are having health issues. Sorry. So I hope now you are well. Okay, let me start. So now, uh, what is Linux? Because this course is about Linux administration. So minimum first thing we should be aware about is that what is a Linux? So I hope all the people who have joined the course, you might be knowing a little bit or you might have heard something about the Linux. Okay, so what is Linux? Especially these people who are new to our session today, Rajeshwari, Nanda, Sham. Yes. So no, today is our first class. So we are starting. So we are starting from today. Today is our first day. So that we can have few more people. Already 3 people have joined this course. So we'll be starting from again. This is not a like second or third day session. Don't worry about it, Rajeshwari. So I'm starting from the beginning, so that the people who made the payment for them, it will be just revision, and the people who are attending first, they will get complete full session. Okay. So any idea about what is Linux, especially the people who are attending today, like Rajeshwari, because our other friends might be already aware what is Linux. Yes, Nanda, Rajeshwari, and Sham. If you know anything about Linux, please write it in 1 or 2 sentences. What is Linux according to you? Then I'll proceed. Yes, I'm waiting for your reply. Yes, I got one answer from the yes, Nanda. Yes, 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 Rajeshwari, you are right. But I should combine these two answers. Yes, yes, very nice. Sham has given the perfect answer. Yes, Linux is an open source operating system. So technically speaking, Linux is actually kernel. Yes, kernel. So, but in the usage, we generally say the Linux is an open source operating system. So we'll start with the basic idea about what is Linux. Yes, nice, Pratik. You still remember that what point we have discussed in last session. Very nice. Okay, so let's suppose I have purchased today one new laptop. This is the new laptop I have purchased. Now I am sitting here. So any computer, whether it is a whether it is a desktop or laptop, any system consists of what? Hardware and the software. So my machine is there with, my new laptop is there with the required hardware and the software. But in this machine, there is no OS installed. There is no OS installed in this. So there is no operating system installed this laptop. So can I use this laptop? Yes, can I use this laptop without OS? Without OS, can we use this laptop? No, we cannot use. Yes. Why? Why here? Because any machine is a collection of hardware and software. So here the hardware understand which language? Our hardware understand which language? Our hardware understand binary language. Yes. Our hardware understand which language? Binary language. So here binary language means which is given in the form of zeros and ones, which is given in the form of zeros and ones. Whereas whereas the software in the machine understand the high level language. So our computer hardware understand only binary language, which is in zeros and ones, whereas the software understand the high level language. So it is something like that I told you earlier also. Now also I'm taking same example. Suppose I know Hindi, you know Telugu. Can we speak? No. So so if you want to communicate, either we should have some common language. So you don't know other than Telugu, I don't know other than Hindi. Then how we can communicate? We can have a third person, mediator. So we can have a third person, mediator, who understand your language and my language. So exactly same way here, any operating system is a collection of program. Any operating system is a collection of program that acts like an interface between the hardware and software. So hardware don't understand high level language and software don't understand binary language. So between these hardware and software, we need one interface. Like if suppose I know only Hindi, you know only Telugu. So we cannot communicate with each other. So we can have a third person who understand your language and my language. So that third person can be called as a mediator. So exactly same way, the machine consists of hardware and software. So where the computer hardware understand only binary language, whereas the computer software understand only high level language. So they cannot communicate with each other. So as a person, as a user, I cannot operate this computer. So if I want to operate this computer, the hardware and software should communicate with each other. Then only I can use this computer. So we have to use a interface. That interface is called as here operating system. So operating system is a logical thing. It's not a physical thing. So any operating system is a collection of program. So any operating system is a collection of program which acts like a any operating system is a collection of program which acts like a this collection of program which acts like a interface between the it acts like an interface between the hardware and software. So using this interface, we can operate the computer. So using this interface, we can operate the computer. So that's why this collection of program we can use to operate the computer, or system. That's why this collection of program is called as operating system. So so most of the people in the world, yes, I'm just going to that first. We should know what is the importance of that. Then I'll go to the notes also. So are you understanding now why we need the OS? Yes, why we need the OS? Have you understood, everybody? So that is the reason we cannot use any computer without operating system. So operating system is a collection of programs which acts like an interface between the hardware and software. Using this interface, we can operate the system, we can operate the computer. And why we are using the computer? To access the resources and services. Yes, so in the world, most of the people are using which operating system? Yes, most of the people in the world are using which operating system? Yes, You can just assume whatever answer you assume. Please write it. Don't worry about whether it is right or wrong. Please be interactive. Yes, Sham, you are right. So most of the people in the world are using Windows. So maximum people in the world are using Windows operating system. But we are discussing this course through Linux. Then why we are discussing the Linux? Since most of the people in the world are using Windows OS, we are discussing different OS, that is Linux operating system. So this course is about Linux operating system. So why we should discuss the Linux? Yes. So it is also a fact. Most of the servers in the world are working on Linux. Most of the clients or users prefer to use the Windows because it is having a graphical interface and it is easy to operate, but it doesn't provide the good security which the Linux operating system provides. So that is the reason most of the servers in the world are using which operating system. You can search or you can ask anybody who's working. Most of the systems in the world, as far the servers is concerned, most of the computers in the world, or I can say, sorry, most of the servers in the world are running on Linux because Linux provides better security. So what are the features of Linux? So when we use the Linux operating system and work with the command, the virus cannot get entered. So there is no chance of virus hitting your machine. And when we use the Linux, we mostly use the command. So work will be done much faster. Work will be done much faster. So Linux provide better security. And whenever we upgrade any new servers in Windows, some of the services we have to restart the machine. So downtime will be more in Windows. But if you install the Linux OS and on that you configure the servers, you can configure different servers. But when we configure the servers, Linux machine need not to be restarted. So it will have less downtime. And Linux structure and security is much more secure, stable compared to Windows. Linux OS can be installed on multiple partitions, which we cannot do on Windows. So Windows OS is easy to operate, but in Windows, the complete OS will be installed on a single partition. So if one of the OS folder get corrupted, so entire OS will be affected. But in Linux, we will install the Linux OS on multiple partitions. In the coming day session, we'll see. So that here, if one of the OS folder get corrupted, so that which particular folder got corrupted, that one will get affected. The remaining complete OS will be safe and secure. So that is the reason now most of the servers in the world working on Linux. So like you may be aware, Windows, we have two types of OS, client OS, server OS. So basically, if you want to work like a user, so normally user uses client OS. So why you want to do this course? What is the intention behind doing this? So you want to work like a normal user or administrator? Yes. Those people who want to do this course, why you want to do this course? What is the intention behind doing this? So in the future, you want to work like a administrator or you want to just work like a client, normal user? Just tell me, please be interactive. Yes, why you want to do this course? Yes, to work like an administrator. So now most of the servers are working on Linux or Windows. You can search also. Most of the servers in the world working on which operating system? Servers, I'm saying. Client prefer to use Windows, but I'm talking about servers. So yes, it is a fact. Most of the servers in the world running on the Linux operating system. So Windows operating system is designed by Bill Gates using the DOS. So same way Linux operating system is designed using the Unix. So who designed the Linux operating system? Yes, anyone? Who designed or developed the Linux OS? Yes, Linux is designed using Unix, and Windows is designed using DOS. So yes, yes, tell me. Yes, Linux Talva, very nice, Manoj. So please remember, like Windows OS is designed are developed by the Bill Gates using DOS. So same way, Linux is designed by Linus Torvald of Finland country. Both these genius people, Bill Gates and Linus Torvald, they are alive today. Yes. So one of the main thing which separate the Linux from other is Linux is an open source operating system. Open source means so whenever any operating system is designed by anyone, so to design or to develop a new operating system, we need to write some coding and program that is called source code. So generally, whoever design the any OS, they will not show their source code or their programs to others. But this gentleman, Linus Torvald, he wanted the people to have freedom from the license issue of the Windows, and at the same time, he wanted to provide the people with alternate option other than Windows. So using the Unix, he designed Linux. So now one of the commonly question asked is difference between Linux and Unix. So one major difference between Linux and Unix is since Linux is designed using the Unix. What is Unix? Unix is an so what is the open source? So Linux is an open source operating system. So I repeat once again, open source means the source code of the Linux kernel. I repeat, Linux is an open source operating system. Open source means the source code of the Linux operating system is freely available. The source code means the coding or the program, whatever written by Linus Torvald to design the Linux OS, we put it over the internet, which anybody can access and modify. So Unix is a command-based operating system, whereas the Linux, we can use both. So Unix is a proprietary-based operating system. Proprietary-based means whoever design or develop the Unix, they will keep their source code with them. They will not share with the other. So Linux is an open source operating system, whereas the Unix is a proprietary-based or hardware-dependent OS. So in the Unix, we have some flavors of Unix OS, starting with Solaris, AIX, HPUX, like that. But what is the major difference here is the Solaris is designed by Sun Microsoft, uh, IBM design AIX, and HP design HPUX. Okay. So what is the main drawback with the Unix? Unix is an hardware dependent OS. Hardware dependent means to install the Solaris OS, which machines we require? Sun only. So if we want to install the AIX, you need to have only IBM machine. So if you are changing the OS means you have to completely change the hardware. So that is the reason now nobody is using, mostly the people are not using the Unix. But in Unix, the very good security, it will never get crash or hang. Okay. So now our focus will be on the Linux. So Linux is designed by Linus Torvald using the Unix. So in Linux, we have so many flavors. So why it is so many flavors in Linux? Because as we have discussed, Linux is an open source. Open source means the source code of the Linux kernel, which is designed by Linus Torvald. He put it over the internet, which anybody can access and modify. That's why we have so many flavors in Linux. So these are the some of the names. So out of this, the most popular is Red Hat. So like Windows, the OS is released in two versions, client OS and server. So Red Hat is also releasing their OS in server and client. So for the client purpose, they are using for home purpose the Fedora. And for server OS, we have RHEL, which stands for Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So now most of the servers in the world are working on RHEL 7. So for RHEL, now the Red Hat company is taken over by the IBM. So the OS is free, but they are providing the technical assistance and technical support. You say technical assistance or support. For that, they are charging. So some people who are working like a so some people who are working in different companies, so they form one association with the name CentOS. So their intention is not business tactics. Their intention is only to spread the Linux. So they form one association with the name CentOS. CentOS stands for community. C means community. So let me just write it. So we are going to discuss this course, Linux administration. We are going to discuss using the Red Hat RHEL 7. So that we are going to discuss using the CentOS. So what is the difference? I am explaining you. So for this, they are providing the support, but for that they are charging. To provide the support, they are charging. Means we have to we have to buy it, we have to pay some amount to them. So they will provide the assistance. But we are using the OS for training purpose. So here we are going to use RHEL stands for Red Hat Enterprise. Red Hat Enterprise Linux version 7. So here CentOS stands for C means community. Community enterprise. Community means here a group of people, operating system. So we are going to use RHEL 7 through CentOS 7. So what these people are doing, they have taken the permission and source code from the Red Hat. So whenever Red Hat releases any new version, exactly same time, the CentOS people, they are taking the source code and releasing the same OS with same features, everything same. And the name also same, series also same. Like for RHEL 1, we have CentOS 1. For RHEL 2, CentOS 2. Now for 7, we have for RHEL 7, CentOS 7. Same features from installation to the introduction to the commands, everything, interface, everything will be same. So we are going to discuss this course through RHEL 7 through CentOS 7. So and this syllabus will be according to the RSCSA. Entire syllabus of RSCSA will be covered. And this course, once you are done, you will be eligible to work like a Linux administrator. And if anybody is having a gap up to 2 to 3 years, you can easily cover this because the depth and the topics which we are going to cover through this course, easily you can cover the gap up to 2 to 3 years. Okay. Yes. So now in Linux, we have so many flavors. Why it is so many flavors? Because Linux is open source. So any company can take the source code of the Linux, which is designed by Linus Torvald, and they can add some features and make their own OS. So that is the reason we have so many flavors in Linux. Out of that, the best one is Red Hat. So we have so many flavors like Red Hat, CentOS, Ubuntu, Kali, Debian, SUSE, Turbo, Boss. So these are some of the flavors. So why it is possible? Because Linux is an open source. So now the most commonly asked question by the students is, Can we learn all the flavor? The answer is no. Your life will be too short to learn all this. So you cannot learn, humanly not possible to run each and every flavor. But once you are good with any one flavor, you can work on any other flavor also, because the architecture remains same. So the architecture remains same. So that is the reason what happens when you are good with any one flavor, you can work on any other flavor. So in some cases, even the command will be also same, but in some cases the command might be different. So suppose you are good with Red Hat. Now your company is working on Debian. You can easily work. So you write the command which you know in the Red Hat. If it is not supporting, you just Google it equivalent command. You will get it. That is how the people are working. Or in simple word, you can remember like this. Suppose you know Maruti 800 driving. Now after few years, you purchase some luxury car, maybe suppose Tata Sumo, something like that, a bigger car. So do you need to learn again the driving? Do you need to learn again driving? No. So if you are good with one flavor, you can easily work. Sorry, if you are good with one car driving, you can drive other also. It may take some time to adjust to the features. Here and there, slight difference will be there. That's why same thing. If you are good with one flavor, you can easily work on other flavor. So if you go to any training institute, maximum institute they are giving the training according to the Red Hat, because Red Hat is the most popular server which is most commonly used in most of the servers in most of the part of the world. So we are going to discuss this course to the Red Hat using the CentOS. So whatever features you have in the Red Hat, same thing you can find in the CentOS. So the difference between Red Hat and CentOS is everything is same. Only one difference. Red Hat, they are charging to provide the support. CentOS completely free, but no support. This is the only difference. Okay. So please tell me, are you following or not? If you are not following, if you are following, I'll continue. If you have any questions, any doubt, if you are not understanding anything, please use the chat box. You ask me or you unmute your mic and ask. Up to now, are you following? Is it clear or any confusion, any doubt, any question you have? Yes, everybody.
Yeah, hi, sir.
Yes, you
Am
have
I,
any
am
question?
I, am I audible?
Yes, Adu.
Sir, explaining side, okay, sir. But that time we want randomly notes. What is the OS, what is the Linux, what is the CentOS, what is the randomly notes. That's why whatever is said now, the taken notes easy to share that this notepads.
See, whatever, see, I think OS everybody knows. So I have made three files. I have made three files. In one file, I have written all the practical steps from first day to last day. So this file I'll be sharing with you. Okay, one thing. Second thing, whatever theory I'm saying, so I have made this course which we are discussing, RHL, this Linux administration. In this course is divided into two parts, system admin and network admin part. So I made here two theory parts. So in the standalone, all the topics theory part I have kept in this. So this I'll be sharing with you. And I made one more file for network admin part. So this file I'll be sharing with you. Whatever data I have collected, I'll be sharing directly with your mail ID after you make the payment. And apart from that, you'll be getting the recordings. You can listen to the recording any number of times. Apart from that, still if you want to write any point, it is a very good habit you should have while the session is going on. Have a book or some paper, better book. You write whatever point you understood. Is it clear? So can I continue now? Shall I continue? Okay. So now our focus will be on Red Hat. So now, can we use the machine without OS? No, we cannot use the machine without OS. So now let us assume that. So let us assume that now in your laptop, a laptop which you have purchased, it is collection of hardware and is a collection of software. So between this hardware and software, we have installed, suppose, Linux operating system. So we are going to discuss. So as I told you earlier also, Sham, all the topics of RSCSA is covered, and some of the topics of the RHEL. Apart from that, some extra topics like servers, which are not there in RHEL 7, it is covered. So based on the industry, what are the requirements, especially if you want to work like a Linux administrator, keeping that thing in mind, we have designed this course like this. So you can cover all the topics of RSCSA, system associate. Some of the topics of RHEL also covered. Some topics of RHEL is not covered, but in place of that, we are discussing how to configure the servers like DSCP, DNS, Samba server. So I'll go through the course content. Okay. So our main focus now here, we are going to focus on Linux operating system. So like we have discussed, any operating system is a collection of programs. Any operating system is a collection of programs. So same case is the Linux also. So Linux also a collection of programs. This collection of program is logically divided into level. So the first level is the shell, and the second level of the Linux operating system is the kernel. So the first level of the operating system collection of program is called shell. Then the second level of the Linux operating system program is kernel. Now we will discuss that what is the use of the shell, what is the use of the kernel. So here you can see. So first we will discuss about the Linux operating system. So this course is about the Linux operating system. So in Windows, you don't have the shell, but in Linux, the shell is there. So what is the advantage of that shell? So Linux, the first level of the Linux operating system is the shell. So shell is the interface between the user and the kernel. So whenever we write the command, any command, so where we need to write in Windows, see, it is a combination of both. So I said some of the topics of RHEL is not there, but all the topics of RSCSA is there, along with in the real time, you should have the knowledge about how to configure the servers, basic servers, which will be there in every company like DSCP, to share the data, NFS, FTP, Samba server. So all these servers we are going to discuss. So this will be not there in the RHEL. So this program is basically designed keeping the mind in the RSCSA and also the topics which are required to be aware for attending the interviews as well as working like a Linux administrator. Okay. Now, if you want to write any command in Windows, what you need to open? You need to go to the command prompt. So same way, if you want to apply the command or execute the command, what you need to open? Yes, anybody? In Linux, what we need to open first to apply the command? Yes, we need to open the terminal. Very nice, Sham. So whenever we open the terminal, what is the shell we use in Linux? So once we open the terminal, what is the shell we are using? /bin/bash. So this is the default shell in Linux. Any flavor you use, this is default. So what is the role of this shell? So now when we are writing the command will be in high level language or low level language? Yes, tell me. When you write the command in Linux, it will be in low level language or high level language? Yes, it is a high level language. So can the machine understand? Machine consists of hardware and the software. So whether they understand that? No. So immediately what happens? Immediately what happens? You may not get the result, but what happens when you open the terminal and write the command? The command will be in high level language. So what is the first role of the command? Sorry, what is the first role of the shell? So first the shell will check that command is given is correct or not. So the operating system will have all the commands in its list. So first thing, once the command is written on the terminal, the shell will first check the command is correct or not. It is there in the predefined commands or not. If it is there, the next thing it will check the command is given by which user, because most of the tasks cannot be done by the user. So if the user can log in or the user can execute very few commands. Very few commands the user can execute, and all the commands will be executed by the root. Who is root here? In Linux and Unix, root is called the administrator. So in Linux and Unix, the administrator is called root. So when you log in as a root, you can execute any command. But suppose you have given one command on the terminal. Now that command does not have the permission for the user. So immediately what will happen? That command will not be executed. So who will check that? The shell will check, and you will get a message, permission denied or access denied. And now if you log in as a root and execute the same command, that command will be executed. So all the commands can be executed by only one user, that is root. Whereas normal users can execute only few commands. So once a command is written, first thing the shell will check the command is proper or not. If the command is proper, next thing it will check it. Next thing it will check is that command can be executed. Who is given that command? A user or the administrator. If it is a user, it will check. So this happens within a fraction of second. So it will check that user have the privilege to use or not. If it is not there, means you will get a message, access denied. If suppose that user is root and have the privilege, now that command will be converted. So shell cannot execute the task. So the shell will first check the command is proper or not. If it is proper, second it will check that which user has given that command. If that command is given by the user, if that user have the privilege, then that command will be executed. If that user don't have the privilege, then that command will not be executed. Yes. So now what the kernel will do, if the command is correct, it will accept the command. And if the command is given by the proper user who have the privilege or permission, then it will convert that command into the binary. So this is the role of the shell. Now the command is being converted, which is given as an input in the form of a command, which is written in high level language. So the command is correct or not, proper or not, it will check by first shell. If it is proper, then who given that command? Have the privilege or not? If it is there, then it will convert that into binary and send to the kernel. Now, kernel is something like a core, or you can say in simple word, brain of the Linux operating system. Like in our body, all our task is controlled and managed by the kernel. Sorry, in our body, all our tasks will be controlled and managed by brain. So whenever we do any task, so which particular task should be done by which particular part of the our body will be decided, controlled and managed by the brain. So same way, the Linux kernel is the core or the brain of the Linux operating system. So once the command is converted by the shell after it found that the command is correct, it will convert into binary and send it to the kernel. Now the kernel acts like a bridge between the user and the resources. Now kernel will something like a brain of our body. Now it will control and manages all the tasks. So that particular task should be done by which particular hardware or software. So once the task is given by the admin or user, and that privilege is there for that, so the task will be given in command, which is in high level language. So it will be converted into binary language by the shell. Then it will send to the kernel. Now the output comes to the kernel. Now the kernel, sorry, input comes to the kernel. Now the kernel will check. It is kernel is something like a brain of the Linux operating system. Now it will check this command should be done by which hardware or software. So like in our body, all our activities controlled and managed by the brain. So same way, once the task comes to the kernel, now kernel will decide this particular task should be done by which hardware and software. So it's something like a brain of the Linux operating system. So once the task is done by the required hardware and software, the output will be available in binary. So what the kernel will do, it will send the output which is in binary form to shell. Now the shell will convert that output from binary format to high level language and display it on the monitor. So this is what exactly happened when we are using the Linux operating system. I hope you got some clarity now. Did you understood? Yes, are you following? If you yes means can you go to the next one? Okay. So now, do we have the shell in the Windows? No. So it is a security. So which command is given by which user? That command has to be executed or not. Everything will be checked here. Okay. So shell is a security level which is present in Linux, but not in. So it is a security level which will allow only the known commands to run and which will not allow the unknown command to run. So here virus attack cannot be there. So in Windows, we have kernel, both no shell, but in Linux, both shell and kernel will be there. So in Windows, the files are the data is identified with the extension, like for the .txt file, .exe, for database file, .dat, for media file, MP3, batch file, BAT. In Linux, we don't have any extension, but here the identification is done here with the help of the type of file and mode of permission. So here the files are identified with the help of the okay. So here the files will be identified in Windows by extension, but in Linux the files are identified with no extensions here. Files are identified with type of file and mode of permission. So for normal file it will be dot. For normal file hyphen. For hidden file dot. Block file B. Link file L. Directory D. file P. Now the permission. So whenever we create any file in Linux, the file will be created without execute permission. Okay. So here, if anybody send the virus file in Linux, it will not be executed. Windows, it will execute. So here, why we are discussing this point means Linux is more secure at the structure level also and OS level also. And Linux is a foundation code for your higher courses like AWS, DevOps, admin, VMware admin, Oracle database, Hadoop. Without knowing Linux, if you do this course, it will be not much of influence. Okay. So this course is divided into two parts. So standalone and network admin. So in the standalone topic, now I'm going through the what are the topics which we are going to discuss through this course. So all of you please have a like just be attentive. So first we'll be discussing introduction of Linux, like we are discussing today. Tomorrow structure of Linux OS. Then after that, next day we'll discuss the how to install the OS. Then after that, basic commands, starting with how to open the terminal, how to create a file using cat, touch, editor. Okay. How to create the directory using mkdir, how to copy them, how to rename, how to delete. These things we'll discuss in basic commands. So our foundation has to be good. So basic commands only we will be discussing 3 to 4 days. Then after that, we'll be discussing how to create a soft link and hard link. Before you take the backup, you have to create the link so that if our original data get lost also, the data will be available in hard link. So how to create soft link and hard link, we'll see. Then in every interview, booting process will be asked. So booting means loading of the OS from hard disk to RAM. So what are the various stages we have in booting process that we will discuss in detail along with the run level, in which level run level, which particular task will be done. So this is about your initial fundamental things. After that, we'll start the administration part. So in that, we'll be discussing under the user administration, how to create a user, how to assign the password, how we can log in with different methods, where the user information will be available, what will call those files, user database file. Yes. So in that, what are the parameters as admin we have to change? All those things we'll discuss in user administration. After that, we'll see group administration. So group is a collection of users. So why we will create a group? When we need to give same permission to multiple users, we'll create a group. So we'll discuss how to create a group, how to add single user, multiple, how to make group admin. Yes. These things we will discuss in group administration. After that, now group is created for applying what? Same permission to multiple users. So after that, we'll start the permission. So in Linux, we have 3 types of permission policies through which the users can be controlled and monitored as per the company requirement. So we have 3 types of permission policies: basic file permission, access control list, and advanced file permission. So all these 3 permission policies will be discussing in detail. So in advanced file permission, again, we have 3 types of advanced file permission: set UID, set GID, and sticky bit. So that also we'll be going to discuss. So with this, the first part in system alone, standalone topic will be covered or completed. Then we'll move to the next part. Process management means whatever the task is running, how we can observe or monitor them using some inbuilt tools like PS command, process status, and top command. We'll be discussing how to monitor our server using like PS command, process status, and top command. After that, we'll start the disk management, managing the hard disk. For that, we need to create partition. So on how to create a partition, on that partition, how to implement the LVM, logical volume manager, through which we can combine the multiple hard disk size into a single storage space through which we can do resizing. After that, we will be discussing the run levels. So which level is best, that we will configure on level 5. Then as the administrator, our job is to make sure that company data is never lost. So for that, as the admin, we have to take the backup. So we'll be discussing how to take the backup with the dump command, using full backup, incremental backup, differential backup. After that, how to compress the data by taking the backup using tar command, how to uncompress it using the tar command, we'll see. Then after that, we'll also see CPI command to take the backup of multiple files and directories. Then we'll be discussing scheduling of jobs, how to schedule the job using ATN front end. So this will be the end of standalone topics. Then we will be starting the second and last part, network admin. So here we will see how to assign the IP, then how to configure the DSCP server, so which IP can be assigned to all the clients. Then we'll be discussing for sharing of the data, how to configure FTP server, NFS server. So with FTP, we can share only files, but not directory. With NFS, both files and directory, but to Linux to Linux. But if you want to do the sharing from Windows to Linux, Linux to Windows, we have to configure Samba server. So that also we'll be discussing. After that, we'll be also discussing DNS, which convert or resolve name into IP. So this is the total content which we are going to discuss through this Linux administration course. Okay. So here patching will be not done. Patching comes in the level 2. This course is for the level 1. As I told you, Rohit, I think you joined a little bit late. The course duration is from 30 to 35 days. And recording will be provided to you. Once you make a payment, from first day to last day, every day recording sessions. Once the session is completed, recording will be sent to you. So by the time we complete the session, it might be 11:10, sometime before 11. So next day you will get the recording. Okay. So with this, we are done with today's session. So if you have any questions, any doubt, you can ask me. Yes. Okay. You have not received, I think, yes, Manoj and yes, our friend Feroz has received it. Okay. So you have made the payment, no? You just ping to my mail ID. This is my mail ID. I'll share you the required document. I hope now, Manoj and Feroz, you are, it's already been sent to you, yes, by me. Yes. Oh. Yes, anybody, any other question, any doubt, or can I close this session? Yes, anyone, any questions? Okay, you are not attending, no. So I given you my mail ID just now. You ping to me. I'll send you. Yes, Pratik. You just ping to my mail ID. I've given you. Recording session, I think they have kept 1 year, I think. You can just confirm with our concerned people. Okay, I have returned, no? Okay, okay. I think it is went to the not everyone. Okay, 1 minute. Sorry. So this is my mail ID. Yes, your payment detail here it is there. You can just see this. So it is just 4,000 rupees. And this is the contact numbers. And this is the detail where they can make it, where you can make a payment. And the Google Pay number is also there. Can you able to see? Yes. Rohit. So, okay, just a minute. I'll share it. One minute, Rohit. I'm giving you the Google Pay number also. Just a minute. One minute. Now, Rohit, you are able to see? Okay. So anybody, any other question, or can I close this session? Okay, you have sent the mail. Okay, once I close the session, I'll send you the required document. Okay, so I'm closing the session. See you tomorrow. Good night, all of you. Yes, can I close? No, no questions, no queries. Okay, yes, Sham. Yes, this course is about Linux administration course. And the depth and the, yes, I told you, no, the global certification, RSCSA, Red Hat Certified System Associate, a full part of that. So in that two papers are there, RSC. So some part of RSC we are covering, not all, but RSCSA, everything is covered. Yes, RSCSA, Red Hat Certified System Associate. Along with that, some extra topics which are not there. That also we have covered. I already told you, like servers. Okay, can I close this session now? Yes, definitely you can give the exam, but you have to take few days training So you have to go to any Prometic centers, because the Prometic centers, we have the dumps. Dumps means previous questions. So once you have this knowledge, you can say to them, already I know the Linux. So I just want to appear for the examination. So before that, I want to just, so before that, they'll just give you few days training, like maximum 5 to 7 days. In that, they'll conduct the mock test, and after that, they'll ask you to make the payment and book the slot and write the exam. So when you directly take the course, no, from them, they will charge you around 15 to 20,000. Same, and they will not explain you much in detail. Just exam point of view, they'll teach. So that's why you should go to the Prometic center saying, I already know the subject. I just want to appear for the exam. I want to practice few dumps, then I want to write the exam. So they will charge you hardly 4 to 5,000 for 1 week, and examination fees will be extra. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow. I'm closing the session. Good night.